Survivor One World premiered on February 15, 2012, as 18 new players were dropped off in the South Pacific for one of the most unique Survivor themed twists ever, with that being the One World twist. The tribes were split up in the man and woman, with the catch being that both tribes would live on the same beach, free to communicate with one another. The game started right away on both teams, as Alicia formed the majority alliance on the female tribe, which included herself, Kim, Chelsea, Sabrina, and Kat. Matt also formed an alliance on the men's tribe. The problem was, it was an alliance of 4 on a 9-person tribe, as his alliance consisted of the 3 other alpha males, NJ, Bill, and Mike. We then saw the One World twist play a role right away, as Christina became the target on the women's tribe when she tried to negotiate with the men, infuriating Alicia. Sabrina then proceeded to find an idol. However, it was an idol for Monono, the men's tribe. So she gave it to Colton, who obviously felt like an outsider on the men's tribe, due to feeling like a female since he was gay. At the immunity challenge, Courtney had an accident, putting her future in the game at risk.
Courtney gives it a go! Ow. Courtney falls hard on the hands. Keep your hands to your chest.
What's happening?
Alright, when Courtney came off the net, she landed with her arm down like that on the net, and so she bent it back, and it looks like the bone might be broken here.
The men would end up winning the challenge by default, sending Solani to tribal. Christina seemed like the easy boot for being on the outs, and her scheme of deal making with Monono, to which was brought up once again at tribal. But Christina got very lucky, as unfortunately for Courtney, her injury was seen as too much of a health risk, and thus had to be pulled from the competition, which meant nobody else would be going home that night. Christina and Alicia tried to make amends after tribal, and while Alicia still didn't fully trust Christina, she recognized that she was far stronger than Nina, and thus, she became the new target for the majority. At a reward challenge that Jeff Probst didn't even bother showing up for, the men would come out on top. But despite the winning, Colton simply didn't feel like he fit in with the tribe, constantly bonding with the woman. But in a great strategic move, he made the true majority alliance on the men's tribe, with all the misfits, showing off his idol to scare them into going against this alliance. The men's dominance continued at the immediate challenge, in large part due to Kat not understanding the rules, sending them to tribal, where this time, someone would be voted out. While Nina campaigned hard for Kat due to her terrible performance and 22-year-old attitude, the tribe simply felt they had no choice but to keep the woman as strong as possible, getting rid of their weak link Nina in a 7-1-1 vote.
Nina, the tribe has spoken.
The One World twist once again came into effect after tribal, as the women wanted to appear tough and not snuggle with the men despite the stormy weather, only to cave in the next day. However, they would prove just how strong they truly were this episode, as they won reward and immunity, sending Monono to their first tribal. Colton wanted Bill gone the most, as he was most annoyed by him, but the other members of the Misfit Alliance agreed that Matt was a far more dangerous player. The Outsider Alliance also began to realize that they were outnumbered and tried to ingratiate themselves into the majority. At tribal, Colton once again threatened the tribe with his idol, to which he didn't play, and in the end, Matt was voted out in a 7-1-1 vote.
Matt, the tribe has spoken. Time to go.
Episode 4 now of Survivor One World, arguably the most ridiculous episode of Survivor to ever air. After Solani won the reward challenge, Leaf told Bill that he was next to go, which absolutely infuriated Colton, as word got back to him what Leaf did, with Leaf now all of a sudden on the chopping block for clearly proving to be untrustworthy. But luckily for the men, they won immunity, and all would be good for the night. But then, millions of Survivor fans lost brain cells after watching what transpired after the challenge.
Listen.
Oh my God, I swear.
Listen, you little stuck-up brat. I'm telling you.
What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna vote your ass out. I want him gone. Bill just attacked me, like got up in my face, like started yelling at me. Leaf told him that he was next.
That's what Leaf said?
Yeah.
What a bunch of knuckleheads. What's up?
Maybe I should go to those girls and say, do y'all want to trade and we'll go to Tribal Council tonight? Because we have a lot more to deal with than y'all.
That would be interesting.
Would you be willing? Because here's the thing, I know y'all want to go to the merge with numbers, but if you go to the merge with numbers that aren't on your side, it doesn't matter.
Here, we just won immunity, and Colton's saying we should give it away. And I'm thinking, what?
Never had a tribe arrive at tribal council after winning immunity.
Yeah, to this day, I can't believe this happened. On the bright side for the men, they at least came to a unanimous decision, as Colton finally got what he wanted, taking out Bill, putting an end to one of Survivor's worst episodes ever.
Bill, tribe has spoken.
We thankfully move on to episode 5 with the announcement of a tribe swap, and with this swap, the One World theme would also be ending. The new Solani tribe completely overpowered the new Monono tribe, and it showed right away, as they won themselves peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Kim made an alliance with the former Mononos in Jay and Troyan, and she would also find Solani's idol, giving her the most power on the tribe. And speaking of power, not only did Colton have all his former allies from the Misfits alliance, but he had also obviously shown willingness to work with the woman, putting them right in the middle. But in the end, Alicia caved and sided with Colton and the men, going up against Monica and Christina, as long as it wasn't her. Solani won the immunity challenge, sending Monono 2.0 to tribal. Monica and Christina thought that both Colton and Alicia were with them, and that the weakling Tarzan would be going home, but they were both shocked as the rest of the tribe united together, blindsiding Monica in a 5-2 vote.
Monica, tribe has spoken.
After tribal council, Christina knew she was on the outs and next on the chopping block, with Colton and Alicia making this very clear to her throughout the episode.
If by some miraculous miracle you did make it to the merge, you're the first one to go. Like, you're going before any guys, you're going before any girls. You have two options. You have three. You can enjoy your last 2 days, you can quit, or you can jump in that fire, whichever is more convenient for you.
But just when all hope seemed lost for Christina, she got the break of a lifetime and a bit of karma to Colton, as he was forced to be evacuated due to appendicitis, taking his idol with him, and thus, his mob boss One World game came to an end.
And Colton, that means if we have to take you out and take you to a hospital, you have to be out of the game. We have to pull you from the game.
Don't. I guess I've done my best. I just wish I could have done more.
Both tribes were called into tribal and were notified of Colton's evacuation, with Jeff then surprised in the final 12 with the announcement of a merge, and nobody else would be going home. After the final 12 had their merge feast, Tarzan tried to get the men back together, as he was confident he had Alicia on their side, which would give them the majority. However, the men from Solani 2.0 wanted to stay loyal since they had the 7-5 numbers over Monono. Things were made even worse for the men, as Jonas and Tarzan got into a heated argument about strategy, leaving Tarzan to tell Jonas up front their alliance was over with. Troyan then went off looking for the merge immunity idol, and he would find it, telling nobody about it. His episode then got even better as he won the first individual immunity of the season, guaranteeing his safety at the merge vote. The Solanis agreed on Jonas, feeling he was the biggest threat from the Mononos. Jonas, realizing he was in trouble, apologized to Tarzan and tried to get the votes on the cat. But Tarzan would then make himself a possible target after he got into a disgusting argument with Chelsea about the laundry.
You're okay. It's not poop, it's dirt, I swear.
Let me clean in the ocean
Trust
first.
me, I know all about
Well, let me get my
microbiology.
stuff out first.
Okay. Not that contagious.
I'm gonna go puke. I'll be right back.
At tribal, Jonas dug his hole even deeper as he spoke a bit too openly, once again pissing off Tarzan, and in the end, he became the first member of the jury, going home in a 10-2 vote.
The fact of the matter is, despite your brilliant plan, we do not have the votes to, vote off Cat.
Just getting
You didn't
terrible.
propose that.
You want to attack all of us while you're at it? You just want to attack
I'm just
all of
stating
us?
the fact.
Jeff, I think we ought to vote Jonas out. That he's worried about it. We might as well vote him out. I'm sick of this.
7th person voted out and the first member of our jury, Jonas.
Tarzan, no hard feelings, brother.
Hard feelings, dude.
Okay.
Jonas, tribe has spoken.
After tribal, Troyan and Jay worried about their decision to side with Solani and vote out a male, and agreed a female had to be next. At the reward challenge, the team of Christina, Kim, Leaf, Michael, and Sabrina pulled through, winning a trip and barbecue feast. It was during this reward that the women officially agreed to work together going forward, but to keep the men from realizing this, they lied to Troyan, telling him that Michael said he was a threat to win, turning Troyan against Michael despite originally wanting a female to go. After Jay took home the immunity, the females continued to campaign hard for Michael for being the biggest threat, but this made Jay and Troyan wonder if they could fully trust the females, as they were already turning on the Solani men, instead of taking out a Monono. But Kim's amazing social game won the two over in the end, as they sided with the females to blindside Michael in a 7-2-2 vote.
Aye, tribe has spoken.
Episode 9 started off with another do-it-yourself challenge, with a team of Alicia, Jay, Kat, Tarzan, and Troyan winning another reward trip and barbecue. At the reward, Jay approached Kat about keeping Solani 2.0 strong, and when he returned to camp, he approached the Solani girls about voting out Alicia next, to which they agreed to, and while Jay was not fully convinced, Troyan was still suspicious of an all-girls alliance. Chelsea would then win immunity, as many of the players stepped off for food, leaving the targets of Troyan and Jay vulnerable. The woman plus Tarzan planned to split their votes on Jay and Troy, and while Jay was still convinced it was Alicia, Troyan began to panic as he felt the girls were indeed together, and campaigned to him that they had to target their leader in Kim. At Tribal, feeling like he simply had no other choice, Troy played the idol for himself, but it was Jay who was the majority target, as the women officially made their alliance clear, blindsiding the alpha male in a 5-2-1 vote.
Jay, tribe has spoken.
Out of allies and no idol to protect him, Troyan officially knew it was him versus everyone else, which would lead to one of the most iconic individual player episodes ever. It started with the auction, and while many players won food and comfort, Troyan couldn't buy any of that, as he knew he had to have an advantage in the game, and he would end up getting that advantage for not even full price, with the advantage being that he would advance directly to the final 4 of the immunity challenge. And at a must-win immunity for Troy, I officially became a Troyan stan for life, as he clutched up big time, and yelled his iconic phrase after.
Troyan knocks out his third target. Come on! He's moving on to the final.
This is my island. You can't beat me.
Troyan knocks out his third target in a row.
Yes!
Troyan wins immunity.
Yes!
Don't with me.
So with Troyan off the table, the new plan was to split the votes on Leaf and Tarzan. Troyan desperately campaigned to Alicia and Christina that they're on the outside of the girls' alliance, and they should join up with the men to blindside Kim. But this is Survivor 1 world after all, and even Tarzan sided with the woman once again to save himself, as the female alliance stood strong, with Leaf getting the boot over Tarzan in a 4-3-2 vote.
Leaf, tribe has spoken.
Episode 11 begins with Kim winning the reward challenge, and she brought Alicia and Chelsea with her. This was a blessing in disguise for Troy, as he had all day to work on the girls not chosen back at camp, campaigning that Kim's choices were a sign of things to come going forward. Kim knew she had to do some damage control when she returned, and was unbelievably able to make amends with everyone, including Kat, who was pissed off with Kim, as she had originally promised to take her on reward. So with everyone once again trying to beat Troy at the immunity challenge, this time they would succeed, with Kim being the one to come out on top. With his target immune, Troyan just simply tried to survive, and got a lucky break when he learned that Christina was the split vote target, and campaigned for others to vote for her, and told Christina to vote for Chelsea, which would waste her vote. But in the end, Troyan's efforts came up just short, as he was sent to the jury in a 4-3-1 vote.
Troyan, the tribe has spoken.
The final 7's loved ones arrived for the reward challenge, with Kat and her cousin winning. However, she chose Kim and Alicia to join her, which pissed off the majority of the tribe, as they felt she should have chosen Tarzan and his wife, as this would be one of the last amazing things they could enjoy in life together as a couple. At the reward, Alicia and Kat campaigned for Sabrina, as she was a massive threat, while Sabrina campaigned for Kat after what she did to Tarzan, leaving Kim in the middle once again. She furthered her power in the game by winning her second immunity. Despite Sabrina being a much bigger jury threat, Kat's performance at the challenge sketched out Alicia, and now wanted her gone. Chelsea and Kim discussed their options, and in the end, they felt Kat was the right move, leading to a fun and exciting unanimous blindside.
If it is going to be a blindside, it's going to be pretty funny and pretty, like exciting.
Why would it be fun and exciting?
I don't know, because blindsides are always fun and exciting. Like, you know, you're like...
12th person voted out and the 6th member of our jury. Kat, tribe has spoken.
Tarzan told Kim he would be willing to be the final jury member and would even persuade the jury to vote for her as long as she took him to the final 4. While Kim did feel her best chance was against Alicia and Christina, she really did not want to blindside her closest ally Chelsea just yet. Chelsea then won a key reward challenge as she brought Sabrina and Kim along with her, and the trio made a final 3 deal. Back at camp, Tarzan made the same pitch he did to Kim to Alicia, and when the two discussed Tarzan, they realized he was trying to play both sides, and suddenly, 64-year-old Tarzan became the main target due to his schemish play. Alicia won immunity, which put her in a tough spot, as if she were to side with Christina and Tarzan, they would have the numbers in case of a rock draw. But in the end, Kim was able to somehow convince her that Tarzan was more threatening than her or Chelsea, and at Tribal, the women came together one last time, sending Tarzan to the jury in a unanimous vote.
Tarzan, the tribe has spoken.
It's the finale now, with the final 5 all being made up of women. As usual, Kim was in the middle of the Christina and Alicia and Chelsea and Sabrina final 3 alliance, and gained even more power when she won the final 5 immunity. But at Tribal, Kim stuck to the alliance she had been with all game in Chelsea and Sabrina, and thus, Alicia was sent to the jury in a 3-2 vote over Chelsea.
Alicia, tribe has spoken.
It's now the final immunity challenge, and Christina knew she had to win, and while she did put up a good fight, Kim would come out on top, winning her 4th immunity, tying the female single season record. Christina did literally no campaigning afterwards, and thus, she became the final member of the jury.
Christina, tribe has spoken.
Kim, Sabrina, and Chelsea now against the jury of 9. While there was some bitterness towards Kim, which gave Sabrina 2 jury votes, the rest of the jury simply couldn't overlook her dominant performance, and months later, she was crowned the winner of Survivor One World, beating Sabrina and Chelsea in a 7-2-0 vote, cementing herself as one of Survivor's greatest winners.
The winner of Survivor One World.
Thank you guys so much for watching Survivor One World in 15 minutes, and let me know in the comments if you are a Troyan stan like I am. Check out my previous In Blake Minute videos as well, and until the Philippines, take care everyone, and I'll see you next time.